reviewed the brand new charts that Mr. Skipper had purchased, because Mr. Skipper didn't return to the plane after purchasing the charts until 15 minutes before takeoff, and he spent most of those 15 minutes chatting with passengers.
So they didn't even have an idea of what they were going to do once they were up?
Okay, listen. If you're going to deviate from your flight plan, which, by the way, you did not make.
At least have a plan?
At least, yes. Like, understand where elevations are. Understand where you're going. Because clearly you have no idea what you're doing.
Maybe if they had, they would have known that the minimum altitude necessary to clear Loveland Pass was 12,000 feet rather than flying at reduced power at 11,000 feet.
Yeah, that was a big mistake.
Furthermore,
here we go.
even if the crew had selected maximum continuous power when they realized they f***ed up, they would have had a climb gradient of 4.57%, or 240 feet of climb for every mile of forward travel. Loveland Pass was 2 miles away, so they couldn't have gained 1,000 feet before that. And the other lowest point on the divide was 3 miles away, but at 12,517 feet. Basically, it would have been impossible to clear any terrain ahead. So you can't afford what was wrong with turning back, like they were trying to do. At 140 knots airspeed and a bank of 60 degrees at maximum continuous power, you lose altitude at a rate of 340 feet per second.
That's a lot.
And they were flying slower than that. So, that sucks. Now you're losing altitude during your turn.
Super bad.
Quote, at 130 knots, the turn radius in a 60-degree bank would be 1,300 feet. So it takes a 1,300-foot radius circle to turn around. However, this would require the aircraft to be operated constantly
1,000.
at only 2 knots above the stall speed and well into the stall buffet range. Entry into the stall buffet boundary would result in an increase in the rate of sink because of the drag induced by flow separation, end quote. Let's assume for
Approaching
a second that they actually managed to maintain that finesse of an airspeed, which is a big if for the record. Did they have the turning radius of 1,300 feet to use?
No.
At 10,800 feet, the valley width is 2,400 feet.
So, yes.
But they were flying through the middle of the valley.
So, no.
That cuts your turning area to 1,200 feet.
So, no.
The board determined that they couldn't turn around either.
So there was literally nowhere they could go.
So, literally, it didn't matter what they did, they were going to crash.
Pretty much. It was just about how.
And another quote. If the crew had been concerned
100.
about the aircraft's ability to clear the terrain ahead less than 1 minute sooner,
50.
when
40.
the aircraft was still 1.5 to 2 miles east of
30.
Dry Gulch, a successful turnaround
Long
could have been
landing,
executed
long
with
landing,
use of a maximum
8,000
power and a
feet
bank of only
remaining.
33 degrees.
10.
They proceeded into an
7,000
area from
remaining.
which an escape was not possible, end quote.
6,000 remaining.
I was just going to say.
5,000 remaining.
Yeah.
Yep.
4,000 remaining.
The first officer did not discuss what he was doing with the captain when attempting to recover. The only thing that survivors heard the crew discuss was the height of one of the mountains. The captain had a good view of Dry Gulch out of his right-hand window and could see that it was only a few thousand feet before rapidly rising toward the Continental Divide. If the first officer completed the turn, he would have been flying right toward the also rapidly rising Mount Trelease. This is probably why the captain took control, but then he caused the plane to stall in his deep left turn, resulting in a loss of altitude and contact with the trees. And now for the confusion that Nick is going to discuss.
And now we're going to talk about something else. Completely. We're going to talk about the operator. So, okay.
You might be wondering, who the f*** is the operator?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what?
Who do you think the actual operator of this airplane
Because we've
is?
discussed 3 different entities so far. There's the owner of the plane, the company that provided the flight crew, and then Wichita State University.